Yes, now that the Afcon is finally come to an end, we can now finally have this discussion. Let's go through everything we saw at the Afcon. We saw the historic factor, we saw the flair, we saw the skills, we saw the entertainment, we saw the chaos, we saw the drama. There was everything at the Afcon. But just in case you were not tuned in, just in case you missed all the action, just in case you missed all the drama, here is a full recap of what took place at the Afcon. Let's dive in. Let's have our final review of the Afcon before we call it a day. Join me. Let's go.
Welcome to Football Madness. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to share this. Now let's go have some fun. Let's go.
Back again to another week of Afcon review. The Afcon has finally come to an end. Now we can dive in and have a full recap of what took place, what we ought to learn from this Afcon, because this edition was a special one. So many action, so many drama, so many entertainment. There was everything. There was chaos. But what did we learn from this Afcon? The Afcon 2025 has so much to offer. So many things is beyond football. So many life lessons we can take out from this Afcon. But let's dive in and let's go through it all. Let's start from Senegal. Senegal won the Afcon, but how did Senegal win the Afcon? That's the question. For me personally, I absolutely think Senegal was the best team at the Afcon. They played the best football. They did everything they ought to do to be called a champion. Being a champion is not just being a champion. From the tactical play, from the way they carried themselves, from the way they moved, everything Senegal did at the Afcon actually made them the champion of the Afcon. Like, they played the best football on and off the field. They were superb, and I am happy for them. I am glad for them. They deserve all the respect that we could give them. The players on the field, the likes of Mane, the likes of Gay, the two Gay in the midfield, Koulibaly in the defense, holding it strong, alongside Diatta. He was playing good too for them. Another guy, Mendy in the goal. Mendy was superb throughout the tournament. I think he only conceded 2 goals throughout the tournament. He was superb. I'm still gutted that they did not give him the best goalkeeper of the tournament. I think the best goalkeeper of the tournament should have gone to Mendy. Sarr was another player. Lamine. These are players that stood out for Senegal. It was a good tournament. Senegal showed up and then they showed out. From the first game against Botswana all the way to the last game against Morocco, Senegal was tactically superior than most of the team at the Afcon. So it's well-deserved. This is a well-deserved champion. On behalf of the rest of Africa, we are proud of you, Senegal. You guys have done well. You guys have done African proud. But we are not going to escape that final. You see, the final game against Morocco that we saw yesterday, that was a crazy game. When people say Senegal did not show a level of professionalism, when they said the Senegal action is unprofessional, you have to ask yourself, was it professional when Morocco was busy stealing goalkeeper's towel? No, you want to talk about professional, so let's talk about professionalism. Was it professional to be stealing goalkeeper's towel? Even go as far as fighting a professional player for his own towel. Man, you see, every sword has double edge. So when you come here to preach professionalism, make sure you preach it all around. So let's go through it. Was the officiating at this Afcon for every game that has to do with Morocco, was that professional? Cancelling out a clean goal that Senegal scored, a clean goal, and then giving a shady penalty, was that professional? So let's talk about professionalism, since that seemed to be the topic of the day. Professionalism. They said Senegal walking out of the field is not professional. Let's talk about professionalism. When the reports were coming out that Morocco was monitoring their opposition practice, was that professional? No, tell me. I want you guys to answer all these questions. Answer me all these questions in the comment section. Was that professional? When there was no security for Senegal on their way to the final, when they came out of that train station, was that professional? You see, people are really, really funny. When people want to hide behind something, they pick one of these favorite words and then they use it to hide their agenda. They use it to hide their motive. Talking about Senegal was unprofessional. Do you know what is unprofessional? Do you know what is unprofessional? The entire tournament, cooking up a tournament to please Morocco, to favor Morocco, that is unprofessional. Having a stadium, a 70,000 seated stadium, and only allocating less than 3,000 seats to Senegal in a 70,000 capacity stadium in a final game, that is unprofessional. Having your stewards steal people's tower, that is unprofessional. Fighting ball boys, fighting a professional player, that while the game is going on, that is unprofessional. So don't come here and preach unprofessionalism to me. No, don't come here and preach that. If you are going to stand on, oh, that is not professional, you need to stand on it all the way through. That leads me to Morocco. We've seen Morocco this entire tournament. Sometime good, sometime bad. But one thing that stayed consistent on the side of Morocco this entire tournament was the fact that the officiating, the referee, the VAR was cooked up to favor Morocco at all points. Anytime you are playing against Morocco, you need to worry about the ref. You need to worry about the VAR. You need to worry about the fans. Like, it is crazy. Not just the players that you are playing against on the field. Against Tanzania, we saw what happened there. Tanzania should have had a penalty in the round of 16. That was not given. We moved on. Against Mali, we saw what happened in there. Mali should have won that game. But hey, we saw what happened there. We moved on. Against Cameroon, Mpuemo was fouled. We saw that. We moved on. All of a sudden, VAR did not work. There was no VAR. There was no time to replay. Against Nigeria, oh, don't even get me started about that one. That Ghanaian referee is still going to get what is coming to him. You think you are doing yourself a favor. Like, you think all you are doing is making sure that the next crop of African ref never make it to the world stage, because they will look at all these African ref as jokes. They will look at them as unprofessional. Since you want to, yes, that's how the world is going to look at the rest of all these ref. They will look at them that they are not professional. Then it finally arrived, the final game against Senegal. Then the ref tried to cook up some nonsense. You see, we ought to learn from this game. You see, this game, this particular final game, in short, the entire Afcon, we need to learn that, you see, every day is for the thief, but one day is for the owner of the house. You can cheat your way, you can be a crook, you can do all these things, shady things. But at the end of the day, good always prevail. Take that. That is life lesson. This is more than football. Good always prevail. There's a reason why the rest of the Africa was supporting Senegal. We all supported Morocco at the last World Cup. But all of a sudden, we got to this tournament and people are finally seeing Morocco for who they are. Yes, people finally, the scale fell off. People can finally see Morocco for who they are. Being shady, cheating. Hakimi taking a goalkeeper's towel and tossing it to the fans. You think we did not see you? African best player. Where is the level of professionalism in that? Morocco pretty much showed up here with the CAF behind them, with FIFA behind them, with all the ref behind them, trying to steal an Afcon. Yes, in broad daylight, they were trying to steal an Afcon. But thank God that God was on Senegal's side. God said, no, not today. It is not happening under my word. No. So, let us all learn from this Afcon. We are going to tell the next generation and the next generation to come about this Afcon, because we are always going to point at this Afcon and say, this is where a team tried to steal an Afcon. Yes, that's what they tried to do. They tried to rob an Afcon in broad daylight. Then we go to Nigeria. Nigeria was superb in this tournament. I was proud of all the players, the coaches, staff. I did not expect this from them. They supersede my expectation. And kudos to Nigeria. Kudos to the player, Lookman, Iwobi. Oh, Iwobi was fantastic. I still expect someone to do a compilation of every touch Iwobi takes in this tournament, because that is generational. We are going to play those tapes years and years from now. We are going to show it to the next crop of midfielders and say, this is how you do it. This is how you play when you get to the Afcon stage. Yeah, Bassi, oh my Lord. Bassi was a rock. superb performance after performance, match after match. Man. Osimhen, man, that's another one. In short, the entire Nigerian team, they gave their all. Kudos to them. They finished third. Congratulations for their performance. It was entertaining, despite the nonsense we saw against Morocco, where the ref took action into his hand and destroyed a semi-final game single-handedly. We still have to give them their flowers. We still have to applaud the players for showing a level of professionalism. Yes, that is what being professional is all about. Since you guys want to talk about professionalism, yeah. When they were stealing one ballista, not once, twice. Where was that professional? Where was that statement? Oh, people are funny. People are really, really funny. They only remember professionalism when they lost at the final. Please get out of here. Take that nonsense and take it far away from here. If you are going to stand on professionalism, you need to stand on it from the beginning of the Afcon, when Morocco was cooking up nonsense and nonsense and nonsense till they got to the final. Then they got to the final. You want to talk about professionalism? Who are you deceiving? We don't do agenda here on Football Madness. We say it like it is. We don't paint picture. We don't carry narrative. We say it as it is. And then there was Egypt. Egypt was fantastic. They gave their all. It was a Mo Salah and Omar Mahmoud show. They pretty much carried that team. They dragged that team to the third place game, and then they lost to Nigeria on penalty. So kudos to them. They showed up, they showed out. But one thing we have to talk about after this Afcon is the teams that qualify for the World Cup from Africa. Majority of them did not live up to expectation. So now we have to think, how are they going to fare at the World Cup? Like, are they going to take these same players, or are they going to reshuffle their teams? Because that performance from majority of all these teams that qualified for the World Cup is it's not looking good. We need quality, solid representation of Africa as the World Cup, and majority of this team fell flat. Look at South Africa. South Africa was South Africa was not it at all, and this is a team that qualified for the World Cup. Algeria tried, but I don't think their performance was good enough. The moment they come against team that is sound, team that know what they are doing, they will lose, and that's what you are going to face at the World Cup. So we ought to look at all these teams that qualify for the World Cup, and they need to get themselves ready for the World Cup, because the performance they gave at the Afcon is not good enough. And then there was Congo. Michael Umboladinga, that showed up, gave his support that was iconic, that will be historical. Years and years to come, we are going to remember how this guy showed us that football is more than football. With his historical performance, standing for 90 minutes, 120 minutes in the same posture. Yeah, kudos to him. Yeah, kudos to him, kudos to him. Now, on the other hand, we had teams that fed flat, that did not even show up at all. Team like Gabon. I feel like Gabon was the worst team on the Gabon was the worst team at this tournament. They pretty much were disappointing. There was nothing to write home about at all. Yeah, Gabon did not even try at all. Tunisia, that's another team. Tunisia qualified for the World Cup, and Tunisia, yeah, that's another team that did not live up to expectation. They were terrible. Yeah, and they are going to be at the World Cup. This is not a good representation of African football when all these teams go to the World Cup. They need to do better. They have time to get themselves ready. They need to reshuffle their team if they have to. They need to drill their team if they have to, because the teams that they are going to be playing at the World Cup is not going to be the same teams that they are playing at this Afcon. Yeah, the World Cup is going to be more competitive. This is the best of the best around the world. But nonetheless, it was a good and successful Afcon. The best team won, so then I can say it's a successful Afcon, because the best team at the Afcon won. It could have gone wrong. Morocco could have stolen an Afcon, and we could have been having a different conversation. But yesterday, football won. Yesterday, Africa won. Yesterday, the good guys won. So, congratulations to Senegal once more. Thank God. We really need to say thank God, because this could have gone wrong. Thank God that Senegal decided to continue playing that game. Thank God that Senegal decided to give it all, and Senegal won the Afcon. So thank God. In the next 2 years, we go again. We'll be here to discuss, to have all the conversation. Thank you guys for staying tuned. Thank you guys for dialing in. Thank you guys for the support, the comments, the like, the sharing. I appreciate it all. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to share this video, share it. Afcon had it all. Afcon had it all. I was entertained from day one all the way to the last day, because you see that final, that was an historical final that we are going to tell the story years and years to come. Guys, remember, it is not personal, it is just football, and I'll catch you guys next time.